कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Please accept my humble obeisances at your lotus feet. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जन शलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः. नमः ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने. नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंदा. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे. श्री षडगोस्वामी अष्टक भाष्यला श्रीनिवासाचार्य. कृष्णोत्कीर्तन गान नरतन परो प्रेमामृतांभो निधि धीरा धीर जन प्रियो प्रिय करो निर्मत्सरो पूजितो श्री चैतन्य कृपा भरो भुवि भुवो भारा वहंतारको वंदे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ नाना शास्त्र विचारिणैक निपुणौ सद्धर्म संस्थापकौ लोकानां हितकारिणौ त्रिभुवने मान्यौ शरण्याकरौ राधा कृष्ण पदारविन्द भजना नन्देन मत्तालिकौ वन्दे रूप सनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीव गोपालकौ श्री गौरांग गुणार्णुवर्णन विधौ श्रद्धा समृद्धन्वितौ पापोत्तापनिक्रन्तनौ तनुभृतां गोविन्दगानामृतै आनन्दाम्बुधिवरधनैकनिपुणौ कैवल्यनिस्तारकौ वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्री जीवगोपालकौ त्यक्त्वा तूर्णमशेषमण्डलपति श्रेणीं सदा तुच्छवत् भूत्वा दीनगणेशकौ करुणया कौपीनकण्ठाश्रितौ गोपीभावरसामृताब्धिलहरी कल्लोलमग्नौ मुहुर् वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ कूजत् कोकिलहंससारसगणा कीर्णे मयूराकुले नानारत्ननिबद्धमूलविटप श्रीयुक्तवृन्दावने राधा कृष्णमहर्निशं प्रभजतौ जिह्वार्थदौ यौ मुदा वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ सङ्ख्यापूर्वकनामगाननतिभिः कालावसानीकृतौ निद्राहारविहारकादिविजितौ चात्यन्तदीनौ च यौ राधा कृष्णगुणस्मृतेर्मधुरिमानन्देन सम्मोहितौ वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ राधाकुण्डतटे कलिन्दतनया तीरे च वंशीवटे प्रेमोन्मादवशादशेषदशया ग्रस्तौ प्रमत्तौ सदा गायन्तौ च कदा हरेर्गुणवरं भावाभिभूतौ मुदा वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ हे राधे व्रजदेविके च ललिते हे नन्दसूनो कुतः श्रीगोवर्धन कल्पपादपतले कालिन्दीवने कुतः घोषन्ताविति सर्वतो व्रजपुरे खेदैर्महाविह्वलम् वन्दे रूपसनातनौ रघुयुगौ श्रीजीवगोपालकौ. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद, जय अद्वैत चंद्र जय गौरभक्त वृंद. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We are continuing our reading of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj, Madhya Lila, chapter 19. Hare Krishna. We are reading about the meeting of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Sri Raghupati Upadhyay, who is a great Pandit, a great devotee from Mithila. We are reading how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bestowed his mercy and infused his power in Sri Rup Goswami and Sri Sanatan Goswami. We are reading how the six Goswamis of Vrindavan, headed by Sri Rup, Sri Sanatan, lived in Sri Vrindavan Dham as representatives of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Hari Bol. I don't know why I'm getting hiccups. Cannot even drink water because I have to do puja seva now. यही कथा सुनी महान तेरा महासुख है चैतन्य र कृपा जाहे ताहे की विस्मय. When the personal associates of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would hear of the activities of Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan Goswami, they would say, what is wonderful for a person who has been granted Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's mercy. Purport. Srila Rupa Goswami and Srila Sanatan Goswami had no fixed residence. They were aniket. They stayed beneath a tree for one day only and wrote huge volumes of transcendental literature. We need a study room, study table, high-speed internet, laptop to write. Srila Rupa Goswami, Srila Sanatan Goswami, they stayed under a tree with no paper, no ink, and wrote not one small paperback. They wrote volumes and volumes of Hare Krishna, transcendental literature. They not only wrote books, but chanted, danced, discussed Krishna, and remembered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes. Thus, they executed devotional service, chanted, danced, sang, discussed Krishna Katha, remembered Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In this way, they performed devotional service. In Vrindavan, there are Prakrit Sahajiyas who say that writing books or even touching books is taboo. For them, devotional service means being relieved from these activities. Whenever they are asked to hear a recitation of Vedic literature, they refuse, saying, what business do we have reading or hearing transcendental literatures? They are meant for neophytes. They pose themselves as too elevated to exert energy for reading, writing, and hearing. However, pure devotees under the guidance of Srila Rupa Goswami reject this Sahajiya philosophy. It is certainly not good to write literature for money or reputation, but to write books and publish them for the enlightenment of the general populace is real service to the Lord. Here, Srila Prabhupada is clearly saying one should not write books to make money. It is certainly not good to write literature for money or reputation. Most of the books by non-devotees are written for money and reputation. Everybody agrees? But transcendental literature is not like that. It is written as a service to the Lord. It is written for enlightenment of the people. Tadvag Visargo Janataga Viplavo. To create a revolution in the Janata. That was Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's opinion. And he specifically told his disciples to write books. He actually preferred to publish books rather than establish temples. Remember Radha Kund, when Srila Prabhupada went to meet his Gurudev, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, if you ever get money, print books. And Srila Prabhupada took it to heart and took it to a whole different level by establishing Bhaktivedanta Book Trust. Temple construction is meant for general populace and neophyte devotees. But the business of advanced and empowered devotees is to write books, publish them, and distribute them widely. What is our job? Our job is to assist. According to Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, distributing literature is like playing on a great mridanga, Brihad Mridanga. Consequently, we always request members of the International Society for Krishna Consciousness to publish as many books as possible and distribute them widely throughout the world. By thus following in the footsteps of Srila Rupa Goswami, one can become a Rupanuga devotee. Writing, distributing, Hare Krishna, distributing Rupa Goswami's books, Lord Krishna's books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam, is the real service for us. That's how we can become Rupanuga. How can we become Rupanuga? By accepting the teachings of Srila Rupa Goswami, reading Srila Rupa Goswami's books like Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Upadeshamrit, and by distributing the literature of Srila Rupa Goswami, we become Rupa Anuga. Hari Bol. How many of us want to become Rupa Anugas? Hari Bol. चैतन्यर कृपा रूप लिखिया छे आपने रसामृत सिंधु ग्रंथेर मंगलाचरणे. Hari Bol. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami saying in the Mangalacharan of Sri Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has written how he received the kripa, the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya kripa रूप लिखिया चे आपन. He himself has written Rasamrita Sindhu Granthera Mangalacharana. Srila Rupa Goswami has personally spoken about the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in his auspicious introduction, Mangalacharan, auspicious invocation to his book Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu in the second verse itself, 1.1.2. The verse is as follows. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has written down this verse from the Mangalacharan of Shri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu by Srila Rupa Goswami. This is the beauty of Shri, please tolerate me. Sorry. This is the beauty of Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita. In Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, you will find original Sanskrit verses written by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami at the beginning of each chapter. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita is filled with thousands of beautiful Bengali verses, Dvipadi, Tripadi. In Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses of Bhagavad Gita quoted. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses of Srimad Bhagavatam quoted. In Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses from other Vedic literatures quoted, like Padma Puran, Vishnu Puran. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses quoted from Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses quoted from Mahabharata. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is verse quoted from Ramayana, Sakridev Prapannoyam. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses quoted from Agni Puran. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses quoted from Ujjwal Nilamani of Srila Rupa Goswami. In Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are verses contained from the writings of Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. You see how rich is Chaitanya Charitamrita. In one book, so much nectar from so many Shastra and Acharyas. In one book you will find. Therefore, there is no literature like Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Shruyatam Shruyatam Nityam Giyatam Giyatam Mudha Chintyatam Chintyatam Bhaktas Chaitanya Charitamritam Hridayasya Preranaya Pravartitoham Varak Rupopi Tasya Hare Padakamalam Vande Chaitanya Devasya. Very beautiful verse Srila Rupa Goswami has written in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. Although I am the lowest of men and I have no knowledge, the inspiration to write transcendental literature about devotional service has been mercifully bestowed upon me. Inspiration has been bestowed upon me. Embarking on any task, one should feel the inner inspiration from Krishna. Very important. Whether we build a temple, whether we become a Diksha Guru, whether we write a book, a transcendental literature, any important project we do, the inner inspiration must come from Krishna. For Srila Prabhupada, Lord Krishna himself appeared and placed his own garland of Kadamba flowers around Srila Prabhupada's neck in Jhansi, empowering Srila Prabhupada. Srila Rupa Goswami also personally appeared to Srila Prabhupada and said, "You have written enough now. Now go to the West. We will all come with you." Srila Rupa Goswami himself appeared in Radha temple to Srila Prabhupada. Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada many times appeared in the dreams of Srila Prabhupada, giving him guidance. When so many signs are there, so many indications are there, confirmation is there that what I am about to do is in line with Krishna's desires. My plan is in line with the Guru Parampara's plan. Then we should go ahead. But we should not embark on any important project unless and until we have the blessings and permission of Sri Guru, Guru Varga, and in the heart we feel inspiration. Sri Rupa Goswami is saying, I am very fallen, I have no knowledge. But what to do? I am feeling the inner inspiration to write transcendental literature about bhakti. Therefore, and this inspiration has been bestowed upon me mercifully. Therefore, I am offering my obeisances to the lotus feet, Padakamalam, of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev, Chaitanya Devasya. Therefore, sometimes we address Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev. Chaitanya Dev is coming from this verse of Sri Rupa Goswami. Chaitanya Dev, Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who has given me the chance to write these books. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is giving this inspiration. And he is Hari, he is the Supreme Lord himself, Gaura Hari. Ridhi Yasya, by whose prerana, I am engaged, Pravartita Aham. Although Varak, I am insignificant low, I am Rupa Goswami. Although I am low, Tasya Hare Padakamalam Vande Chaitanya Devasya. I worship the lotus feet of Gaur Hari, Mahaprabhu Sri Chaitanya Dev, who is giving me the prerana. Hare Krishna. Ei mata dasha dina prayage rahiya, Shri Rupe Shiksha Dela Shakti Sanchariya. In this way, Shri Rup Goswami stayed with Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu at Prayag, Dashashwamedh Ghat, for 10 days, Dashadin, empowering him, Shakti Sanchariya, and Shri Rupe Shiksha Dila, imparted him with the necessary potency and gave all the instructions to Shri Rupa Goswami. Hari Bol. This is our parampara. We receive Upadesh and then we pass it down to the next generation. Shri Rupa Goswami received Upadesh Shiksha and he gave Upadesh Amrit, nectar of instruction, to the next generation. Shri Jiva Goswami. Like that. So we receive and we give. We receive and we give. We share. For 10 days, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu instructed. Therefore, this chapter is called Roop Shiksha. What will come next is Sanatan Shiksha. Roop Shiksha, Sanatan Shiksha. He gave Shiksha, he instructed, and Shakti Sancharya. This is always the case, my dear friends. When Shri Guru gives an order that you do this, Shiksha Dila. Which Shiksha? Shakti Sancharya. You say na that Guru gives instruction and then gives empowerment at the same time, coming from this verse. Hari Bol. Shri Rupe Shiksha Dila and Shri Rupe Shakti Sancharya. Gave instructions to Shri Rup Goswami and gave the power. I was Hare Krishna recently talking to a devotee from New Golokadham, North Carolina, and he was saying that when he asked his Gurudev, His Holiness Srila Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj, for instruction, Maharaj said, "You make a beautiful rath for Lord Jagannath." And it manifested in a relatively short time. And Maharaj was so happy when the Rath Yatra took place, first Rath Yatra with that rath. And later on, this devotee was telling me, Prabhu, I don't know how it all happened. I don't know how it all happened. So then he was reflecting that I feel that Maharaj gave instruction, and with the instruction, he gave the Shakti also, empowerment. That's always the case. All we have to do is Nimitta Matra Bhava. We have to become instrument. Take it up. Shakti is there. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. This is a confirmation of the statement Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartan. Remember that verse? Kali Yuga, um, Kali Yuga Dharma Krishna Nama Sankirtan Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartan. Kali Yuga Dharma Krishna Nam Sankirtan. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartan. The Yuga Dharma is Krishna Nam Sankirtan, and one cannot propagate Krishna Nam Sankirtan unless one is empowered by Krishna. Because Dharma Samsthapanarthaya Sambhavami Yuga Yuga. It is Krishna who comes and establishes Dharma. So anybody who is establishing Dharma, assisting Krishna and establishing Dharma is Krishna Jan, is Hari Jan, is Hari Parshad, is Gaur Parshad, is Gaur Premi Jan, is the recipient of Shakti. Hari Bol. Krishna Shakti Vina Nahe Tara Pravartan. Unless one is specifically empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he cannot spread the Krishna consciousness movement. We cannot spread it. An empowered devotee sees and feels himself to be the lowest of men. A truly empowered person will be very humble. Very humble. Empowered devotee sees and feels himself to be the lowest of men. For he knows that whatever he does is due to the inspiration given by the Lord in the heart. This is confirmed by Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita 10.10. Tesham sadatayuktanam bhajatam pritipurvakam dadami buddhiyogam tam yena mam upayanti te. To those who are constantly devoted to serving me with love, I give the understanding by which they can come to me. This is, in my opinion, humble opinion, this is my feeling, most favorite verse of Bhagavad Gita. I was once asked, what is your favorite verse of Bhagavad Gita? I had quoted this verse, 10.10. Tesham sadadayuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mam upayanti te. Most important verse. Because everything is there in this verse. To those, Tesham, Satata Yuktaram, who are always engaged, constantly engaged. How? Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. In serving me with love. This word prem, priti, is used in this verse. Prema Pumarto Mahan. We have to serve Krishna with love. Bhajatam Priti Purvakam. Then Dadami Buddhi Yogamtam. Then Krishna gives the knowledge. Krishna gives the intelligence, the buddhi, which we can connect with Krishna. Yoga means to connect. Dadami means Krishna gives. Dadami Buddhi. Krishna will give. the Vivek Buddhi. Krishna will give the necessary intelligence. Yena, by which Maam Upayanti they will come to me. So, engagement, prem, and Bhagavad Prapti, attaining Krishna. And Krishna's reciprocation, Tadavi, Buddhi Yoga. Everything is in one verse. What we have to do and what is the ultimate. Everything is there. We have to be constantly engaged. We have to engage in serving Krishna with love. Krishna will give us the necessary Yogakshema Mahamyam, Dadami Buddhi. Krishna will give the necessary intelligence. Yena Mam Upayanti. The Krishna clears by which you come to me. Hari Bol. So it's very beautiful verse. To be empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one has to qualify himself. Who is empowered? Some qualification is required. For example, if there are some employees in a company, someone has to be made a manager, then the boss, the board of directors, or the CEO, or whoever the supervisor, vice president is, they will see who is most qualified for the role, and that person will be empowered. Same thing in Krishna consciousness. Krishna will empower one who is most qualified. To be empowered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada is saying, he's an empowered Acharya. He's speaking from experience. One has to qualify himself. This means that one must engage 24 hours daily in the loving devotional service of Lord Krishna. Remember yesterday? 23 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Disqualified. It has to be 24 hours. The material position of a devotee doesn't matter because devotional service is not dependent on material considerations. Bhaktya tushyati kevalam na cha gunay. Bhakti doesn't depend on material consideration. One can be a vyad, hunter. One can be an elephant. One can be born in a Shudra family. One can be completely poor. One can be too young. One can be too weak. One could be anything. It doesn't matter. One could be ugly, hunchback. Krishna only cares about bhakti. Vyadhasya dhruvasya chavayo vidya gajendrasya ka kubjaya kimunamarupamadhikam kim tat sudamno dhanam वंशको विदुरश्च यादवपते रुग्रस्य किं पौरुषम् भक्त्या तुष्यति केवलं न च गुणैः भक्ति प्रियो माधव. In his earlier life, Srila Rupa Goswami was a government officer and a grahastha. He was not even a brahmachari or sannyasi. He associated with mlechas and yavanas, but because he was always eager to serve, he was a qualified recipient for the Lord's mercy. Look at the background of Srila Rupa Goswami. He was working with the most wretched, sinful people, but heart was pure. Sincerity was there. Eagerness to serve Mahaprabhu was there. A sincere devotee can therefore be empowered by the Lord regardless of his situation. Ananta Shakti Prabhu, Russia. In the preceding verse from the Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami has described how he was personally empowered by the Lord. He further states in Sri Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu 1.2.187, very, very important verse. Who is a liberated soul, even while living in this world? Jivan Mukta. Ihayasya harer dasye karmana manasa gira nikhila sapyavasthasu jivan mukta sa uchyate. A person acting in the service of Krishna with his body, mind, and word is a liberated person, even in the material world. Although he may be engaged in so many material activities. So-called material activities. But they are not material activities. They're so-called apparent material activities. You may be going to office. Prabhupada was trying to get some paper, distributing magazine. There are hawkers, beggars who distribute magazines. देखा है ना न्यूज़पेपर at traffic lights. So you see the activity of Srila Prabhupada. Chandni Chowk में दिल्ली में hawkers are selling magazines and books. बाबा जी वही कर रहे हैं. Apparent, apparent material activity. It is not material activity. So-called material activity. Maybe engaged, but he is Jivan Mukta Sauchade. He is liberated. Why? Because Nikhila, all the activities with the body, karmana, with the mind, manasa, with the words and speech, gira, karmana, manasa, gira, Nikhila, all the activities, they are ihayasya harayardasya. They are done with a service attitude to Lord Hari. Hari Bol. Bodily activities, words and speech, and our mental activities, if they are Harer Dasya, if they are with the attitude of service to Sri Hari, then even while living in this world, Jivan Mukta Sauchate. We are called, we are considered Jivan Mukta. Because you are not doing anything of this world. You are not in this world. You are with Hari. Because you are thinking of Hari. You are speaking about Hari. And you are acting for Hari. Mat karma krin. Like that. You like this verse? So who is Jivan Mukta? One who is engaged in dasya, service of Harer, Hari, with body, karmana, mind, manasa, speech, gira. Even though we may engage in so-called activities of this material world, अवस्था इधर है. He is physically here, but no, he is Jivan Mukta. Hari bol. इहा यस्य हरेर्दास्य कर्मणा मनसा गिरा निखिला सप्यवस्थासु जीवन मुक्त स उच्यते. To keep oneself free from material contamination and attain the Lord's favor, one must be sincerely eager to render service to the Lord. This desire should be that I want to do something for Krishna. Flowers, fruits, some aarti, nice dress, nice program. I want to hear Hari Katha. I want to do Krishna Kirtan. I want to serve Krishna's devotees. I want to hear about Krishna. I want to speak about Krishna. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj would become so happy when someone would say, please come and speak Hari Katha. How? You're giving me opportunity to speak Harikatha. I will come in. So enthusiastic. Sincerely eager to render service to Lord Krishna. This attitude is there in the heart, you are well situated. How do we know we are well situated in bhakti? Sincere desire to serve Krishna should be there. When there is no seva vritti, we are in a diseased, sick condition. When we want to serve Krishna, Krishna's devotees, we are healthy. As soon as one is favored by the mercy of the spiritual master and the Lord, one is immediately given all the power necessary to write books and propagate the Krishna consciousness movement without being hampered by material considerations. This is where the Ritviks get it wrong. Hare Krishna. Respect them as Vaishnavas. This is where they get it wrong. Nowadays there is a lot of Ritvik controversy going on. They are worshipable because they love Prabhupada. They are sincerely practicing the regulative principles, chanting at least 16 rounds every day, propagating the movement of Srila Prabhupada, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. They are Vaishnavas. Philosophically, there is one misunderstanding, one mistake. This is what they get wrong. They say that हमको दिखाओ order किधर है. Show us where Prabhupada appointed a Diksha Guru. Srila Prabhupada has not appointed a Diksha Guru. Therefore, all the Diksha Gurus in ISKCON are unauthorized. At face value, it seems correct. But the point that the Ritviks are missing, our Ritvik brothers and sisters are missing, is that empowerment can come invisible to your eyes. Was Srila Prabhupada told by Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada to become a Diksha Guru, become Acharya? Yes, but not in Prakat, not openly. It was not openly, verbally, that in front of everybody, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada said, Shri Abhay Charana Arvinda Das, you become Shri Abhay Charana Arvinda Prabhu, you become a Diksha Guru, you become Acharya. It was not like that. Nor did he write a letter. But internally, in the heart, Srila Prabhupada himself says that my Guru Maharaj, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada, has authorized me, has empowered me to become Acharya. Therefore, I am doing this service of being the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So Srila Prabhupada was authorized, but in an invisible way, invisible to us. Only Srila Prabhupada could experience that I have been empowered. That is what Prabhupada is saying here. As soon as one is favored by the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, means Guru Gauranga, one is immediately given all the power necessary to write books and propagate Krishna consciousness movement, which means even in ISKCON, there might be devotees, there might be sannyasis who have received the empowerment and the permission from Srila Prabhupada in their heart. How can you say that this is not possible? How can the Ritvik say that it is not possible? That nobody has received the empowerment to become Diksha Guru by Srila Prabhupada. How they can say that? It is like that. Show me proof that God exists. Show me proof that God does not exist. Correct? The burden of proof is on them because Guru Parampara system is eternal. Prabhupada never said that nobody should become a Diksha Guru after me. I am the last Diksha Guru. Prabhupada ने कहा है ऐसा? नहीं कहा है. If you see the totality of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, if you see the totality of Srila Prabhupada's teachings, Srila Prabhupada respected, honored, and followed the Parampara system. Srila Prabhupada also said that today I am Guru, tomorrow you will become Guru, but you must become qualified. Maybe when Srila Prabhupada was performing his Antya Leela, maybe when Srila Prabhupada was performing his disappearance Leela and entering into the Nitya Leela of Radha Krishna, maybe that time nobody was qualified. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj said that. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj said that they should have waited immediately. They should have waited. Maybe the Ritvik system could have continued for some time. Wait, let the empowerment, let the inspiration come, and then you become. Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj became 1984, 82, 84, I don't remember exactly. So like that. So some were directly empowered. Srila Jayapataka Swami Maharaj was directly told by Srila Prabhupada, you should have 50,000 disciples. Like that. So that is going on. But then they say final order. But really, if you, in a tatastha way, in a very neutral way, examine that letter also, the final letter, which they say July something, 1977, I don't know the date exactly. I have read that letter many times. Neutrally, तटस्थ होकर अगर उसे ठीक से पढ़ा जाए, and you see the whole context, it is not that Srila Prabhupada is saying that no one in the future will be empowered by me to become a Diksha Guru. Of course, there are problems. Many Diksha Gurus did not live up to the standard, and therefore this doubt comes. Are they really authorized? Are they really authentic acharyas? Because the parampara is acharya to acharya, not acharya to neophyte devotee. It is acharya to acharya, pure devotee to pure devotee, isn't it? So guru should be pure devotee. But where does it say that nobody, none of the Prabhupada's disciples will become pure devotees? ऐसा तो नहीं है. Many of them sincerely followed, have been following, and they were empowered. So like that, we have to understand it in a very mature way. Many times, prima facie, many times preliminarily, a thing may appear logical, but then there may be deeper layers to it. Arjun's arguments, 6 reasons not to fight, seem very logical, very logical. But then ultimately, the whole Bhagavad Gita convinces us that it was necessary for Arjun to fight. So many times there will be very strong arguments in favor of the Ritvik understanding. We respect them. Only with folded hands request is okay, there are some pure devotees also amongst the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. And please don't call them unauthorized. Because as soon as one is favored by the mercy of the spiritual master and the Lord, one is immediately given all the power necessary to write books and propagate the Krishna consciousness movement without being hampered by material considerations. Hare Krishna. Phalena parichiyate. Phal, the fruit of the tree, tells us what tree it is. You get a mango fruit, you know this is a mango tree. You get an orange, you know this is an orange tree. So you see how they have propagated over the last 50 years Krishna consciousness. And where you see purity, where you see empowerment, we can put faith that this person is empowered by Srila Prabhupada. This person is authorized by the Parampara. Therefore, when Sripad Vaisheshika Maharaj, he gives Diksha, he always says, keeping the eternal Parampara of disciplic succession as the ideal standard, I accept you as my duly initiated disciple. To propagate Mahaprabhu, Sri Chaitanya Dev's movement, I accept you as my disciple. Because it is the eternal parampara. Yes, Srila Prabhupada adjusted things, Srila Prabhupada changed certain things like giving the Brahma Gayatri mantra to Mataji's. But nowhere Srila Prabhupada says that after me, never ever will anybody be qualified in ISKCON to become a Diksha Guru. Never. Throughout Prabhupada's teachings, yes, Prabhupada had very less time, only 11 years of active preaching as Prabhupada in ISKCON. Prabhupada had less time, and in 11 years, it is hard for someone to become a acharya. I have been in Krishna consciousness actively in ISKCON for the last 27 years. अभी तक काउंसलर बनने की भी योग्यता नहीं है. So this I am not preaching. I'm simply reading and some thoughts that based on what I have heard and read that I'm sharing. But I could not make spiritual advancement. So in 11 years, 27 years for me, nothing has happened. I feel not made much progress. 11 years to become a Diksha Guru and Acharya is very difficult. Of course, Srila Prabhupada's disciples were very exalted. I cannot compare to them. And the dedication they showed, the vairagya they showed to serve Prabhupada, they left their family, jobs, everything, moved into the temple, took on so much responsibility. Prabhupada will say, go there, go to Australia. They would go to Australia, start a temple there. You go. There's one example. One Prabhupada disciple was saying, traveling with Prabhupada in a train, and there's a station, and Prabhupada said, get down here and start a temple. They were going somewhere else. Calcutta to Delhi, beach mein, get down here, start a temple here. Got down and he created a temple there. दिल्ली में उतार दिया उनको. So like that. But they were amazingly great. But yes, 11 years are short, and not everybody joined 11 years ago. Somewhere 5 years into ISKCON, somewhere 10 years into ISKCON. So yes, it is likely that not all of them may have reached that stature, and therefore there were difficulties when they became the Diksha Guru. Many factors are there. Also, accepting many disciples can put a lot of burden on a guru who is not made so much advancement yet. But Srila Prabhupada writes in Nectar of Instruction purports that even a Madhyamadhikari can become a Diksha Guru. Right? So now if too many disciples are there and disciples are not following the regulative principles, then it can affect the spiritual master. And if the spiritual master is not sufficiently advanced, then the spiritual master may actually fall down. So many factors are there. But at least they tried. At least they sincerely, at some point, they sincerely tried to serve Srila Prabhupada. So we should keep respectful distance and protect ourselves from contamination. But at the same time, we cannot just say that the eternal Guru Parampara system mentioned in the Shastra has been modified by Srila Prabhupada. I don't feel convinced about that. But they have their opinion, the Ritviks, and I respect them. They're ultimately nice devotees. And of course, there are exceptions. May Srila Prabhupada fulfill their desire that Srila Prabhupada is their Diksha Guru. And they are Srila Prabhupada's Diksha disciples and they go back to Godhead. But my humble request is that those disciples of Srila Prabhupada who are sincere, who have stood the test of time and who have proved themselves as authentic spiritual masters by guiding their disciples to the lotus feet of Srila Prabhupada, and they have propagated Mahaprabhu's movement, they should be recognized as empowered spiritual masters. Srila Prabhupada empowered them by their sincerity. So there are many shades to the truth. Truth is not unidimensional. There is some truth to what the Ritviks say, and there is some truth to what we say also. I think we can work cooperatively. There is no need to fight. You want to accept Srila Prabhupada as Diksha Guru? Personally, I feel fine. You have faith? Accept. I will not say that you're wrong, you're bogus, your Diksha is not bona fide, you need a living. I will not say that. You have faith, you want Prabhupada as a Diksha Guru, you want to practice, no problem. Srila Prabhupada still lives eternally. The Akhanda Guru Tattva is Akhanda. There is no Khanda. So, all power to you. Do it if that is your faith. Only request is we can cooperate. We don't have to criticize each other. We don't have to say that Ritviks are wrong in their initiation and they will never go back to Godhead and they are not initiated. We don't accept them. And nor should the Ritviks criticize the bona fide spiritual masters. There's no need. Most of them don't. Most of them don't. So I think we can all work together. Hare Krishna. As Srila Srivas Thakur said, let Mahaprabhu's movement, Mahaprabhu's family grow. Jai Ho. प्रभु कहे सुन रूप भक्ति रसेर लक्षण सूत्र रूपे कही विस्तार ना जाए वर्णन. Hare Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, my dear Rupa Goswami, now please listen to me. Rup Shiksha. It is not possible to describe devotional service completely. Not possible. Because bhakti is unlimited, deep ocean. Therefore, I am just trying to give you a synopsis of the symptoms of devotional service. Sutra Rupe. Rup, I'm giving Sutra Rup. I'm giving synopsis because it's not possible to give everything. पारापार शून्य गभीर भक्ति रस सिंधु तोमाय चाखाइते तारा कही एक बिंदु. हरि बोल. पार पार शून्य गभीर. There is no limit to the length and breadth of Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu. The Bhakti Sindhu, Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu is so big. It has no length and breadth. And it is Gabhir. It's unfathomable. Very deep. So, what am I doing, Rupa Goswami? This unlimited ocean of Bhakti Ras. तुम्हारे तुम्हारे चाखाइते तारा कहीं एक बिंदु. One drop I'm going to give you to taste. Open your mouth. One drop from the ocean I'm giving you. The ocean of the transcendental mellows of devotion is so big that no one can estimate its length and breadth. However, just to help you taste it, I am describing but one drop. Hari Bol. तोमाय चाखाइते तारा कहीं एक बिंदु. I am speaking one bindu from that unfathomable ocean. And that will start now very beautiful Rup Shiksha and Sanatan Shiksha in the next chapter. And Krishna willing, we will continue reading that. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki jai. Ritvix ki jai. And this ISKCON की जय, उस ISKCON की जय, सब भक्तों की जय, सब संतों की जय. Hare Krishna. Going to Richmond today by the blessings of Shri Guru Shri Gauranga, seeking all your blessings and good wishes that I am able to serve Shri Balaram Katha in a way that is pleasing to Shri Guru Shri Gauranga. If Mahaprabhu smiles as Nityananda Ram is glorified, then I will consider myself very fortunate and very successful if the devotees are also happy. So please bless me and shower your blessings and kind wishes. Hare Krishna. Sucharu Radharani Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Uh, Prabhuji, this question just popped up जब हम अभी books की बात कर रहे थे. तो the curiosity which came into was like there is a relation between Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So how will we connect Chaitanya Charitamrita and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam?
Bhagavad Gita concludes with Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Braja. The ultimate message of Bhagavad Gita is to surrender to Krishna and become a devotee. Manmana Bhava Mad Bhakta. Become my devotee. And a detailed description of bhakti, Vasudeva Bhagavati, Bhakti Yoga, that is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam rejects cheating religion. Dharma projita kaita votra paramo nirvatsaranam satam. And it talks about savai pumsam paro dharma. Lord Krishna says, give up all dharma except Sharanagati dharma, except Bhakti dharma, except Bhagavad dharma. You give up everything else. Sarva dharman parityajya, follow only one dharma of Mamekam Sharanam Raja, of surrendering to be becoming my devotee. Now, how to surrender to Krishna, how to become Krishna's devotee? That parodharmo, savai pumsam parodharmo, yato bhaktir adhokshaje. How it is ahetuki, how it is apratihata, how it can satisfy the self. Sandrananda. All that is described in Srimad Bhagavatam. Through the evidence of Premi Bhaktas, starting from Kunti Devi, Arjun, Yudhishthir, Bhim, Uttara, Bhishmadev, Shukdev Goswami, Suta Goswami, Uddhav, Maitreya Muni, Vidur Mahatma, Dhruv Maharaj, Bhagwan Rishabdev, Bharat Maharaj, Jada Bharat, Ajamil, Prabhu, later on Prahlad Maharaj, Shripad Narad Muni, Upavarana became Dasiputra, became Narad Muni. That story is told in 7th canto also. Then there is the story of Bali Maharaj, another Mahajan in the 8th canto. And there are so many other stories also. Ambarish Maharaj in the 9th canto. Gajendra story is there. And ultimately then there is the 10th canto where there is description of the different devotees of Krishna, like Uddhav, Rukmini's surrender, Satyabhama's pure love, Jambavan, Muchukunda Maharaj, Vasudeva and Devaki Mata, And so many devotees, their love for Krishna teaches us how to surrender to Krishna. But the crest jewel of all devotees who teach us bhakti are the Brijvasis. And that is there in the 10th canto. Nanda Baba, Yashoda Maiya, Krishna's friends, and ultimately the topmost devotees are the Vraj Gopis in Madhurya Prem. And Srimad Bhagavatam gives us the Ras Leela, the Gopi Geet, the Venu Geet, Yugal Geet, Pranay Geet, and finally the Brahmar Geet. Then some more description of bhakti is there in the 11th canto, which is expanded version of Bhagavad Gita. Concludes with the story of Maitreya Muni, beg your pardon, Markandeya Muni, Markandeya Rishi, description of Pralaya, description of Kali Yuga, symptoms of Kali Yuga in the 12th canto, and how Kali Yuga is an ocean of faults. Kalir dosha nidhe raja nastiyo eka mahan guna kirtana deva Krishna se mukta sangha param rajit. We must do Krishna Kirtan. How in different yugas there is different yuga dharma. Kritaya dhyayato Vishnum, Tretayam reto makhay, Dvapare paricharyayam, Kalotat Hari Kirtanad. And finally, the last verse of Bhagavatam, Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Shamanastam Namami Harim Param. Srimad Bhagavatam concludes with Sankirtan Mahima. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. And that's where Shri Chaitanya Charitamrita rises, teaching us what is Nam Sankirtan. Kaliyug Prem Avatar Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Dev. How he teaches us Nam Sankirtan. How he teaches us to get Prem through Nam Sankirtan. What is Mahaprabhu's Prem Nam Sankirtan movement? And that desire of Krishna that could not be fulfilled in Bhagavatam. That I want to taste what is the love of Radharani. What was she experiencing when she was singing? Yatte Sujata Charanam Buruham Taneshu. What she was thinking, what she was experiencing. What she was experiencing when she chanted Govinda Damodara Madhaveti as Akrur whipped the horses, cracked the whip, and the chariot took me away from Vrindavan. What was Srimati Radharani feeling, experiencing when my devotee Uddhav met with Srimati Radharani? And looking at a black bumblebee, Srimati Radharani was singing the Brahmar Geet. Oh, how I want to experience the emotions and the love of Srimati Radharani. This desire is not fulfilled in Srimad Bhagavatam. Unfulfilled desire. And to fulfill that, Krishna, Bhagavan, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, as established in Bhagavatam. That is the Paribhasha Sutra of Bhagavatam, according to Srila Jiva Goswami. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. That Swayam Bhagavan Krishna, to fulfill his desire, to understand Shri Radhara Pranaya Mahima, he came as Shri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He is Krishna with the external complexion, Srimati Radharani, and the heart, the emotions, the love, the bhav of Srimati Radharani. Radha Krishna Pranaya Vikritir Ladinir Shaktir Asmad Ekat Manav Api Bhuipura Deha Bhedav Gatautau Chaitanyakyam Prakatamadhuna Tadvayam Chaikyam Aptam Radha Bhavaduti Suvalitam Naumi Krishna Swarupam. Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita begins with this verse. That Krishna, Swayam Bhagwan, has now become Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And he has got Radha Bhav and he has got Radha Dyuti. Now see what happens. The magic is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hari Bol. And Chaitanya Charitamrita continues to this day. This is Chaitanya Charitamrita. Prabhupada Lilamrita is continuation of Chaitanya Charitamrita. Hari Bol. So Bhagavad Gita is the foundational scripture, elaboration of Bhagavad Gita, because it is Gita Parishad. And the Srimad Bhagavatam is the elaborate sub commentary on Vedanta Sutra. Srimad Bhagavatam is the elaborate commentary of the Shrutis, Vedanta Sutra, Upanishads, Srimad Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam's Parishishta Leela, according to Srila Gaur Govind Maharaj, continuation of Bhagavatam is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And continuation of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Mahaprabhu says, पृथ्वी तेयत्याच नगर आदि ग्राम सर्वत्र प्रचार होइबे मरा नाम चारे देखो तारे कहो कृष्ण उपदेश আমার আজ্ঞায় গুরু হইয়া তারা এই দেশ ইউএসএ দেশ ইংল্যান্ড দেশ কেনিয়া দেশ নাইজেরিয়া দেশ ইরান দেশ অস্ট্রেলিয়া দেশ তারা এই দেশ continuation of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is Sri Prabhupada Lilamrita. Hari Bol. When His Holiness Srila Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj was in Atlanta 3 days ago, said something very beautiful. Maharaj said, why reading Sri Prabhupada Lilamrita by His Holiness Srila Satswarup Das Goswami Maharaj not mandatory reading for initiation? Why it is not mandatory reading for ISKCON disciple course? Why it is not mandatory reading for Bhakti Shastri? Why it is not mandatory reading for Bhakti Vaibhav? Why it is not mandatory reading for Bhakti Vedanta and Bhakti Sarvabhauma? It should be. So we should all read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. I read Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit in 2004 and took me 1 year to read. I was doing my surgical residency, Nagpur University at that time. Took me 1 year to read it, the full version. It's in 7 volumes, but then BBT published a special volume where the whole Prabhupada Lilamrit, unabridged, it's in 1 volume. I have that in Akola. So I read that. Every day I would read little bit. It took me 1 year, but it was the most ecstatic experience of my life to read Sri Prabhupada Lilamrit. So as Srila Bir Krishna Goswami Maharaj said, it should be compulsory reading. Right from before first initial read Prabhupada Lilamrit, then come to Bhagavad Gita. What you will understand Bhagavad Gita without Prabhupada Lilamrit? Because it is Srila Prabhupada who is making the knowledge of the scriptures digestible to us. Hari Bol. To digest food, you need liver. To metabolize proteins, carbohydrates, lipids, you need liver. That liver is Prabhupada, who helps us digest, assimilate, process. प्रभुपाद को ही नहीं समझ पाए तो क्या फायदा भक्ति शास्त्री करके, भक्ति वेदांत करके, भक्ति वैभव करके, भक्ति सार्वभौम करके. It was Prabhupada who said, I want all my followers to inherit the title Bhakti Vedanta. Advait Chandra Prabhu, you have to do Bhakti Vedanta someday to please Srila Prabhupada. So like that. So it is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita is continuation of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Sri Prabhupada Lilamrita is continuation of Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And the activities of the disciples of Srila Prabhupada is continuation of Prabhupada Lilamrita. So Chaitanya Lila continues. Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, one more question. Basically, it is a doubt. When we say there is a fall down in the bhakti, and I have not received a satisfactory answer for this one of my doubt. So, is this that the bhakti becomes zero, like you have to start from again, or is it that it stops at a particular place?
It is forgot password. When we commit aparad, Vaishnava aparad, or we neglect our sadhana, two things. There is no third reason. Fall down के लिए दो ही कारण है. A devotee falls down because of two reasons. There is no third reason. अगर third reason है तो बताओ मुझे. There cannot be third reason. Only two reasons. And this I heard from my Guru Maharaj, Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj. One, Vaishnava aparad. Two, neglecting our bhajan. कोई भी एग्जाम्पल उठा लो फ्रॉम भागवतम or from Chaitanya Charitamrita or from Vaishnava literatures. Fall down of a devotee happens because of these two reasons and only these two reasons. 2009 Pune Yatra. His Holiness Srila Radhanath Swami Maharaj says this. Where Maharaj says that therefore devotees fall down like raindrops. इतने भक्तों का पतन क्यों होता है? Why so many devotees fall down in bhakti? Maharaj said because they criticize devotees. They commit Vaishnava aparadh. And they neglect their sadhana. Only two reasons. What did Bharat Maharaj do? Rajarshi Bharat Maharaj neglected his sadhana. अपराध नहीं किया था. What did Akrur do? Vaishnava aparadh. That's why he developed a sinful desire to marry Satyabhama Devi, which desire should never have come. Devotees have trouble in their bhakti because of Vaishnava aparadh and neglecting their sadhana. Therefore, we should be strict with our sadhana and we should respect all devotees. We should not blaspheme, criticize. Vaishnava निंदा नहीं करनी चाहिए. What happens when a devotee falls down? It is not that the devotee's bhakti is finished. Bhakti is completely spiritual, and nothing spiritual is ever destroyed. The devotee simply loses taste for bhakti. That is fall down. Loses taste. So loses the access to all the bhakti sukriti. But when the devotee repents, or when the devotee becomes determined, nishchay, and comes back with utsaha to perform bhakti, utsahat nishchay dhairyat, in matter of time, again, password reset. Again, you get access to all the bhakti that was there. It's never lost. Neha bhikarma nashvasti pratyavayana vidyate. Lord Krishna says in second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. भक्ति का कभी नाश नहीं होता है. नेहा विकर्म नाश होती न नाश होती नहीं नाश होता है भक्ति का. It will stay as it is, but you will lose access to it. And what happens when we lose access? Material desires increase. भौतिक वासना increases, and that is what we call fall down. Devotee has fallen down. भजन नहीं कर रहा, चार नियमों का पालन नहीं कर रहा, fall down. Why? Because vasana has increased. Material vasana has increased. That is fall down. But in the future, the person will come back. Namya bhakta pranashyati. Krishna's devotee will never be destroyed. Will come back. But will have to go through a painful period of purification, like Nalakuver Manigrave. Very painful to be trees for so many years. Vritrasur. Very painful to fight with devotees. सोचो कितना बुरा लगेगा कि भगवान के भक्तों के साथ द्रोह करो, उनसे युद्ध करो. Vritrasur had to go through that purification. कैसा लगा होगा उस हिरण को जिसे गायत्री करना है, जिसे जप करना है, पर नहीं कर सकता क्योंकि हिरण शरीर है. सोचो कैसा लगा होगा. Full memory was there of Rajarshi Bharat in the deer body, but could not do bhajan. Full memory, full realization was there as Nalakuver Manigiri, as the Yamal Arjun trees. Cannot chant, cannot do parikrama, cannot offer obeisances. अरे क्या जीवन है ये? कृष्णोत्कीर्तन गान नर्तन परो नहीं कर सकता. Then such guilt comes कि अभी तो पागल बन जाऊंगा. Now I will pretend to be mad. So nobody will like me. The deer liked me ना, आके चाटता था डियर मेरे को when I used to do शालिग्राम सेवा. अभी ऐसा बनूंगा जड़ भरत कि कोई प्यार नहीं करेगा मुझसे. टट्टी करने से पहले हाथ धोऊंगा, टट्टी करने के बाद हाथ नहीं धोऊंगा. पिताजी ने कहा जाओ आंसर नेचर्स कॉल, टेक अ बाथ. ही यूज्ड टू टेक अ बाथ एंड आंसर नेचर्स कॉल एंड वॉक. नॉट इवन वॉश. Everybody should hate me. Nobody should love me. Because if somebody loves me now, I will get attached again. You are so careful as Jada Bharat, Mahatma Jada Bharat. So careful. But one desire he had as Rajarshi Bharat, that मेरा डियर कहाँ गया? Where is that deer? I want to save that deer. रात हो गई अभी तक वापस नहीं आया. अंधेर में स्लिप होके जब ढूंढने गए, खोजने गए उस हिरन को, राजर्षि भरत महाराज स्वयं गिरकर मर गए. पर जब मर रहे थे, ही वॉज थिंकिंग कि मेरा हिरन कहाँ है, उसे बचाना है, उसका उद्धार करना है. बस दैट वाज द लास्ट थॉट. So that deer, because a sadhu, a rajarshi like Bharat Maharaj, thought that I have to deliver him. हिरन का उद्धार करना है. बिकॉज एक महात्मा ने सोचा कि उस हिरन का उद्धार होना चाहिए. दैट हिरन बिकेम महाराज रहुगण. एंड देयरफॉर जड़ भरत नेवर स्पोक एनीथिंग until he met that deer in the form of महाराज रहुगण और उद्धार किया. क्योंकि पहले वो इच्छा थी उस हिरन का उद्धार करना है. So laws of karma are very complex. We don't know. We can see only one dimension, but there are many deeper layers that we don't know. Only Krishna knows. So like that. So fall of a devotee is losing access to bhakti because of Vaishnava Aparad or neglect of sadhana bhakti. But when there is genuine repentance and when there is sadhu kripa again, then the devotee comes back to the path. There is no story in Srimad Bhagavatam where the devotee does not come back. देखो बताओ, कोई स्टोरी नहीं है. Every story has a happy ending. Whether it is Avanti Brahman, whether it is Maharaj Ayati, every story in Bhagavatam has a happy ending in the end. They come back. Akrur also comes back. Like that. Chitraketu Maharaj becomes great. So like that. Always there is hope. It's a temporary setback, but we have to go through painful purification. तो क्यों करें ऐसा? And most importantly, Krishna is displeased when we commit Vaishnava Parad or we neglect our bhajan or when we fall down. Krishna doesn't want us to fall down. Therefore, he is speaking so much Shastra, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Therefore, he comes as Acharya, spiritual master. So we should not fall down. But if somebody falls down, we should know that the bhakti is never destroyed. ठीक है? सुचारू राधारानी माता जी.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, today is a big day for me as well. So, need all Vaishnavas' blessings and prayers.
Hare Krishna.
I'm little nervous and
We all pray that you are able to fully receive the mercy of Srila Gurudev, Param Pujya Shri Kratudas Ji Maharaj, in the form of your second initiation, and you are able to live up to the standards that Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga expect of you. And all of us, we express our prayers and good wishes for your progress in Krishna consciousness. Let us all of us chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for Sucharu Radharani Mataji. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
yeah.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Jai Jai
Krishna.
Shri Radhe.
Hare